In this short video, we are going to discuss population growth. The essential questions. What characteristics are used to describe a population? What factors affect population size? What are exponential growth and logistic growth? Characteristics of populations. What characteristics are used to describe a population? Characteristics of a population. There are three important characteristics of populations. 1. Geographic distribution. 2. Density. 3. Growth rate. Geographic distribution. Geographic distribution, or range, describes the area inhabited by a population. Density. Population density is the number of individuals per unit area. Growth rate. Growth rate is the increase or decrease of the number of individuals in a population over time. Population growth. What factors affect population size? Population growth. Three factors can affect population size: the number of births, the number of deaths, the number of individuals that enter or leave the population. A population can grow when its birth rate is greater than its death rate. Population growth. Immigration. The movement of individuals into an area is another factor that can cause a population to grow. You can remember immigration because it starts with an I and it stands for into. Populations can increase by immigration as animals in search of mates or food arrive from outside. Population growth. Emigration, the movement of individuals out of an area, can cause a population to decrease in size. You can remember emigration because it starts with an E and the E stands for exit. Emigration can occur when animals leave to find mates and establish new territories. A shortage of food in one area may also lead to emigration. Exponential growth. What are exponential growth and logistic growth? Exponential growth. Under ideal conditions with unlimited resources, a population will grow exponentially. Exponential growth occurs when individuals in a population reproduce at a constant rate. The population becomes larger and larger until it approaches an infinitely large size. Exponential growth. In the presence of unlimited resources and in the absence of predation and disease, a population will grow exponentially. Both hypothetical graphs show the characteristic J shape of an exponential population growth. Logistic growth. In nature, exponential growth does not continue in a population for very long. Logistic growth. As resources become less available, the growth of a population slows or stops. Logistic growth occurs when a population's growth slows or stops following a period of exponential growth. Logistic growth. This graph shows the S-shaped curve of logistic growth. As resources become less available, the population growth slows or stops. The growth of this population has leveled off at its carrying capacity. Logistic growth. Carrying capacity. The largest number of individuals of a population that a given environment can support is called its carrying capacity. When a population reaches the carrying capacity of its environment, its growth levels off. The average growth rate is 0. Let's review the essential questions. Population density is the number of individuals, A, that are born each year, B, per unit area, C, that emigrate, or D, that emigrate. If you answered B, you're correct. Per unit area. When the birth rate of a population exceeds its death rate, the population will A, increase, B, decrease, C, stays the same, or D, increases then decreases. If you answered A, increases, you're correct. An S-shaped curve on a graph of population growth is characteristic of A. Exponential growth, B. Logistic growth, C. Carrying capacity, or D. Delayed growth? If you answered B. Logistic growth, you're correct. Exponential growth in a population slows or stops as A. Resources become limited, B. Rate of emigration decreases, C. Rate of emigration increases, D. Birth rate increases. The answer is A. Resources become limited. Exponential growth rate means that each new generation of a population, A. adds the same number of new individuals as the previous generation did, B. increases at the same rate as the previous generation, C. is the same size as the generation before, or D. increases by a varying amount. If you answered D, you are correct.